All right, Craig Cooks here. I've had a lot of requests for this one, so I'm going to make this video showing you how to time stretch on the MPC sample. Hopefully this helps a lot of people out. I'm going to show you my way. I think it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. All right, so what we're going to do, got a sample here, I got a breakbeat here, and we're basically just going to time stretch and loop them. Just the basics right now. We're not getting into chopping or anything. Straight up time stretching, sample, time stretching, breakbeat drums. First thing we're gonna do, let me play the sample for you. Nice. Real nice. That's the sample. Now I'm going to play the drums for you. Nice. All right, so we got our sample and we got our drums. What I like to do, say the first thing I would do is, for me, let's hit the sequence button right here, okay? And what I like to do first is just find, we're gonna hit sequence and a sample button so we have access to our samples and our drums. I like to tap the tempo just to start off. Let's just tap the tempo on a sample real quick. All right, perfect. Look, 90.36. So we could just say, we're just gonna say it's 90 for now. Hit this, push the jog wheel. It's gonna bring it down to 90. Just a starting point, no big deal. You don't even have to tap the tempo if you don't want to. There's somewhere for us to start. All right, so we set the tempo at 90, hit the sample button. Now, for me, when you're time stretching a sample, I like to make a tight loop first, right? So we wanna make a tight loop of the sample, okay? All right, so what I'm gonna do, let me let it play. I'm just gonna watch and see like where I would want to chop it. Like right around there is what I'm thinking. And also what I like to do, and you don't have to do this, I want to make a copy, so I always have the original to go back to. So I'm going to hit shift, copy. You take your finger off of shift, hit the pad you want to put it on, boom. Now I got to copy this sample here, and we're going to work with this copy. All right, so I'm gonna, you could turn the end point, or you could push this jog wheel in, and look, it jumps around. So I want to get to the end point, right? And I want to make a tight loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn loop on right here. Almost. And when you hit shift, turn the jog wheel, look, you can zoom in. Now it's not tight, it's jumping. Let's go back a little, let's go here. Turn it up so you can hear it. It's got to be a smooth loop. stop it. All right, let me hit it again. Just take a listen. It should be a nice smooth loop. Let's listen. I like that. It's a nice smooth loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit shift, pad 13, which is trim. Boom. Now we're trimming the sample and we just got that section, right? Nice, I like that. Okay, now what we want to do, I'm gonna take loop off real quick. We're gonna hit this tune button right here in the middle. Boom. That's how we time stretch or warp it. Okay, so we're gonna hit the jog wheel to go to warp. We're going to take this, we're going to turn it all the way to the right so that it's going to warp it by the sequence tempo, right? All the way to the right. Okay, so, and remember, we tapped the tempo to the sample, so we're close. But you didn't have to if you didn't want to. All right, now, let's count real quick. Let's just see how long this loop is. It's how many beats are in it. So every 4 beats is a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a bar. All right, so let's just listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I counted 16 beats, right? 16 beats is basically 4 bars. So we want to make sure when we're warping to the sequence tempo that the MPC sample picked up the correct amount of beats. And how do we do that? You hit the shift button, right? Okay. It tells you how many beats. It did detect it as 16, but I'm showing you that you could adjust this. Now you could use this knob, okay, to put the amount of beats in. I like using this one, the jog wheel, because it clicks, it's easy to dial in, right? So I'm going to click it back, 32. So I want to set it on, remember we counted 16. See that? I set it to 16 beats, holding in shift. Take your finger off the shift button. Okay, so now it knows it's warping to the sequence tempo, and it knows that it's 16 beats. Now what do we do? This is easy. Once you get this down, super easy. Okay. Pad 15 says warp. Okay. Pad 15 is warp. So what we want to do, we got 2 different modes. Shift, pad 15 warp. It's set to time stretch. So what that does is you can adjust the tempo and it will maintain the pitch. That's cool. What else can you do? Hit shift, pad 15. Now it'll warp it by pitch. So when you change the tempo, it will change the pitch of your sample to match the beats per minute, where you're speeding it up or slowing it down. So let's just start. I'm going to show you both. Let's just start off. Let's hit it again. Let's just do it by time stretch so we can adjust the tempo and it's going to maintain the pitch, right? So let's hit that sample again. All right, check it out. So let's go in and record this into a sequence so we can mess around with the tempo, see what it does, right? Remember, we tapped the tempo, so it's 90. Okay, And remember, I counted 16, so that's 4 bars. So let's adjust it. Let's just make a 4-bar sequence right there. Okay. And let's go into record mode, sequence record here. We're going to drop that sample in. Hit the record button off, sequence record button off. Let's listen. Stop it real quick. Let's play the sequence. Let's hear how it sounds. Cool. And then what we also could do, because it's warped, right? We can go in and we can adjust the tempo, and you could do it 2 different ways, right? You hit sequence, and you could do it from the sequence screen by pressing this, then adjusting it. Another way you could do it is you could actually hit the tap tempo button, hold that in, the BPM comes, and you could adjust it here. So let me just play it. Okay, let me just play it and adjust it. I'm gonna go into this main sample screen. I'm just gonna play it, hold in the tap tempo, and adjust the tempo. Listen. Go up with it. See how it's locking it in? A crazy tempo. We'll go up to a house tempo real quick. Look at this. 124 beats per minute. Now it's like a house tempo. And remember, we're in the time stretch mode, so it's trying to maintain the pitch. What happens if we hit shift and hit warp again and we go to the pitch mode, right? Now it's going to change the pitch to match the 124 beats per minute. Let's listen. And I'm going to change the tempo while it's in pitch mode in this warp section. Listen to what it does when I go down with it. Right, so that's in the repitch warping, or back to time stretch. Now remember, the original tempo was 90, so just for now, and you could experiment with this, speed up the tempo, slow it down, you know. Let's just go back, set it back to 90, what it was originally, because we still got to do our drums, right? Let's do our drums real quick. Now we're going to make a tight loop out of our drums so we can time stretch them. Okay, let's do that. First, I'm going to hit it, and I'm just going to look at kind of where I want to chop. Right around there if I want to take a nice chunk. Okay, so I'm going to go back to trim and the jog wheel. So I want to adjust that end point. Let me bring it back real quick. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to take a look. Right around there. So I'm going to go back. I'm holding shift. Use this jog wheel to zoom in. All right, check it out. And then what do I want to do? I want to turn loop back on to see if we get that perfect loop. Let's listen, and we'll tighten it up. Pretty good. Zoom in on the end again. Stop it. Let me hit it again. And don't forget what I showed you. So what I like to do. Let's hit shift, copy. Take our finger off of shift so we don't break our finger. Hit that pad. So we copied it here. So listen, make sure it's a tight loop. Nice, I like that. It's a tight loop. Remember, original sample here, we copied it here. Original drum break here, we copied it here. All right, so we're working on a copy to make a tight loop of them drums. Hit shift, pad 13, trim sample. Boom. Now we got that tight loop here of the drums. Perfect. Let's turn the loop off. Boom. Okay. Now we want to warp time stretch it. Hit this button here. In the tune. Remember, we want to go to warp. Press the jog wheel. Bang. We're there. Let's turn it all the way to the right. So it's going to warp it by the sequence tempo, remember. All the way. Okay. Now the drums should be warped. Okay, so remember we got our sequence here. With our sample, now we should be able to record our drums in, and it should pretty much lock into the sample. Let's take a listen. Take sequence, record off. Let's play them together. Sample here, drums here. And we're in shift, warp. Now we're in time stretch. So remember, now with the sample and the drums playing, we can play around with the tempo and they should be locked in. Listen. to experiment, let's switch it from time stretch to the pitch mode and hear what that does. Now the pitch is going to be affected by the tempo. Let's listen. One other thing I want to show you too. Let's go back, because notice when you're in the pitch mode and you're warped, you can't mess around with the tuning. But shift, warp, we're going to put it back in time stretch mode. Now we could actually play around with the tuning while it is warped, time stretched. So check this out. We go back down to 90 beats per minute, which is where we started. I'll play it. I'm gonna hit the sample. All right, hit the jog wheel. Now I can go to the tuning and watch. It's locked in at 90, which is the original tempo, but we can play around with the tuning of it, of the sample and the drums. Sample first. That's way too low. But you see, you can adjust the tuning and it's still pretty much locked in. What if we bring the sample back up to its original pitch? What if we play with the tuning of the drums? Okay. So you see, you can adjust the tuning when you're in time stretch mode in the warping. This is to get it tight, to go with the sample. It sounded like shit, but that's where you would get into chopping and chopping it up and placing them on so it goes with the flow of the sample, goes with the rhythm, goes with the pocket. Right now I'm just showing you that you could throw your samples in and you could time stretch them, and you could either do it by pitch or time stretch, and it locks you in. It's a good starting point if you just want to throw samples in, chop them, drums, get a tight loop, sample, get a tight loop, and just throw loops in on top of each other, adjust the volumes, play with them. Right now we're going to go back into time stretch mode, right? And we got our sample here. Let's bring our volume down and let's just blend the sample in with the drums right now. Just having some fun. You play around, you experiment. So yeah, that's basically it. Straightforward. What I like to do, like I said, you get your sample, you get your drums, copy them over, make a tight loop out of them, go into tune, switch over to warp, make sure that you hit shift and your number of beats is on for how many beats you counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so forth. And then play around with shift and in the warp mode, try out pitch, try out the time stretch, see what you like. Play around with the tempo in sequence mode. Here, you can hit this, play with the tempo here. Or like I said, you also could hit the tap tempo and adjust the tempo here. Have some fun with it, okay? Experiment around, make some good music. Hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully this explains some things. Practice, practice, practice. All right, Craig Cooks, I'm out.